What's good, everybody out there in YouTube? This is your man Shadicstick dropping some hot farraga on this mic, and we're going to be talking about The World Ends With You and how you should prepare for The World Ends With You final remix. Now, originally I had a much more elaborate video planned for this, but I decided to be more explicit in this video and make this more cohesive while making it more simplistic at the same time. So let's begin.
You're gonna lose it all!
Again, The World Ends With You is one of my favorite video games of all time. I honestly think it's the best RPG period of all time. I don't care what anybody else says. Your opinion it just doesn't matter when it comes to that to me. But we have The World Ends With You coming to the Nintendo Switch soon, and that made me think about what is the best way to actually experience this game for the first time. If you're, just playing it and you want to know what it is, or at least get a taste of what there is to see. And on top of that, maybe you're an old player of The World Ends With You and you would just want to go back through so you can refresh yourself on the story, so you can just go blitz through the game and get to the in-game content that has been added. And I'm going to sit down and tell you what is actually the best way for both methods. Now, if you're a newcomer to The World Ends With You, I feel like the best way to actually legitimately get into the game and see what the game is going to be all about is to either, one, just buy the original game on DS, which I highly advise. It's a great game, so I mean, you can't go wrong getting it on the DS and then buying it on the Switch again. I feel like it would be completely worth the experience. Or numero uno, you can emulate it, and many will say, doesn't the game utilize the touchscreen a lot? Yes, it does, and there's a great way to circumvent that. The best way to circumvent this is by utilizing something known as a graphics tablet. Now, before we go on, I'm going to say some people have other options. Some people just have touchscreen, computers and tablets, and they can utilize those with a stylus. That's an easy way to do this and use their keyboard alongside it. But what I found that can actually work really well is using the keyboard, WASD as your attack buttons for the top screen, and the stylus or the graphics tablet to basically play the game on your computer really well. And having that graphics tablet, you may be like, I don't want to buy that just for one game, but for a lot of DS games that you want to emulate, and I'm not saying go download ROMs, you can always make backups of your ROMs via an R4 by buying that, basically running this dumping program, dumping the ROM to your computer and playing it that way. But I really advise, own your own games, basically try to buy it if you can, but you can always utilize a graphics tablet and a keyboard and mouse, and it actually simulates the experience of The World Ends With You on the DS relatively well, while it's not one-to-one, and there's some things that are kind of different in the aspect of holding the console and just trying to control via the stylus, because you're not playing on the screen, so you're kind of disjointed with it, and there's not a lot of basically motion of free range as much as you would have on the DS, because you're using the graphics tablet, which will act as a mouse instead of an actual stylus like this is paper. It's still a really great way to experience the game. I've been playing through the game recently using this graphics tablet and mouse and keyboard combo. And if you're actually really good with a mouse, you can actually use a mouse and play it. I used to do this back in middle school on the school computers. I used to use No Cash GBA. I'd run The World Ends With You on it, and I'd start playing the game that way. To be honest, I don't think a lot of people are thinking outside of the box for this. And then even then, if you've played The World Ends With You and you own it, and you're just wanting to go back and get ready for the gameplay experience, I think this is also a great way to experience the game. And there are many builds of Desmond, a great emulator to use. You can even use NoCast, which, even though it's relatively old and is less supported than Desmond. Desmond has a build that has the ability to change the internal resolution of the game so you can get a sharp, crisp image, which I've done here. And even then, if you can't use that and your computer's just not strong enough, many computers are strong enough to run the game with filters, so the texture filtering in and of itself can just be improved. This is a sprite-based game, so using texture filters will really make the game pop out. Now, on the side of just getting prepared for the story, I just advise getting The World Ends With You Solo Remix. The gameplay is still great, but it's more streamlined, so I feel like you won't have as many complications on a gameplay side as the DS version, because the DS version of the game's combat system was extremely complex. It wasn't simple to grasp. I mean, like, I found it simple to grasp onto, but a lot of people I knew didn't like the game because they couldn't understand the combat system. They just relied on the auto combos, and at some point in the game, you do have to utilize the combos yourself. You can't rely on the auto combos all the time because the computer can only do so much for you. You know what I mean? So please, I advise if you're just wanting to go through the game for the story, just go ahead and get Solar Remix. It's a great port. I just bought it, and I think it's a great way to experience the game. So guys, tell me if you found any of this helpful, and if you want, you know, tell me if you're getting the World Ends With You on Nintendo Switch. Are you getting it at launch? Are you getting it later down the line? Do you not find it worth it? Do you find it completely worth it? Tell me how you feel. This is a conversation. I am very open to debate, with the exception of calling this not the best RPG of all time, because it quite frankly is. All jokes aside though, guys, tell me how you feel about The World Ends With You down in the comment section below. This has been your man Shadicstick. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Become a patron with the link that's in the description and at the end of this video. And we're out of here. Hot Faraga turns to Cold Blizzaga. Come chill out with some of my other videos. Peace. Kiss, kiss.